Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Giant Pregame Show presented by Sherwood Ford. Tyler, it's been 84 years since I've last seen you on this show. Do you know where that's from, at least?
No, I actually don't.
Have you seen Titanic?
No.
Aww.
You're new here. You don't know that I have zero movie references in my brain.
You have not seen Titanic?
I've never seen a movie ever.
Oh my God. Okay, well, we'll talk about this after because now I'm like confused now. This is not the for the Oilers pregame show, but everyone listening and watching, you guys heard Tyler Yaremchuk say that he's never seen Titanic or another movie, which blows my mind, but we'll get into that another time. All right, how are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, like you said, it's been a while. The Oilers are coming off, 4 days off now, but they're back on home ice looking to improve their record to 6-0. They have not won 6 games in a row since 2011, right in the middle of the decade of darkness.
I'm so glad that you said that because when I was trying to get that out of my mouth off camera, I could barely do it. So Tyler's a professional here. Let's talk about the last game, which was against the Vegas Golden Knights. Obviously, the Oilers won 5-3. 2 goals for Leon Draisaitl, 2 goals for Zach Hyman, 1 from Cassian. Let's go, Cass. What are your thoughts on the game?
The Zach Hyman goals really stood out to me, actually. I'm back-to-back multi-goal games now for Zach Hyman. He's really starting to fit in well with this team. And the first one on the power play, I mean, timely scoring is so big, right? Getting goals at points where it really shifts the momentum of a game change the outcome. And for the Oilers, they're down 1 to Vegas. They don't have a lot going on. They looked slow. They were turning over pucks. They get a power play. Zach Hyman finds the back of the net. It happens at a point in a period where it flipped the game around. Like, that game script really changed after that point. So a big goal at a big time. And that first Zach Hyman goal, I'll say, is the big reason why the Oilers were eventually able to come out with the win.
What do you think Kyle Dubas and company are thinking right now, seeing Zach Hyman's performance this season?
Yeah, I mean, they're probably sitting there thinking they should have given the guy the no movement clause he wanted and kept him around in Toronto because, I mean, he's coming to Edmonton here and, I mean, his style of play fits in perfectly in this top 6. I forget who was saying it on the site the other day, but, like, he feels like the next coming of Ryan Smith, right?
Yeah.
Like this gritty fan favorite who parks himself in front of the net, goes to the dirty areas, and just finds a way to get the job done. And, I mean, through 5 games now this year, it's honestly would have been hard to script a better start to his Oilers career.
Let's talk about how the Oilers did on the road because that was huge for them. Obviously, they're back at Rogers Place tonight taking on the Philadelphia Flyers, 8 o'clock p.m. But the boys got it done on the road, and that, I think that there's a lot to say for that.
Yeah, the Oilers were actually a great road team last year as well. It's something they've done really well under Dave Tippett is winning games on the road. It's actually been home ice, surprisingly. That's been a bigger problem for them in years past. But great to see the Oilers go out on the road. I think the decision to split up McDavid and Draisaitl on the road really paid off as well. Yep. I thought it was just a matchup nightmare for the opposition's coaching staff. So everything worked well. Mikko Koskinen is holding up his end of the bargain. They got 3 forward lines really rolling right now. You talked about Zach Cassian finding the back of the net for the 3rd time this year. I mean, that's a guy who didn't score that much all of last year, right? So to see Cassian coming through the way he is, just a ton of positives from that road trip.
Cass is buzzing. Another player who Oilers Nation said was buzzing and had maybe his most complete performance was Kyler Yamamoto, but you're still not happy with Yams because he has 0 points in 5 games.
Yeah, I'm still not. I mean, we've had how many games now this year where Yamamoto's buzzing, Yamamoto's creating turnovers, he's hard on the forecheck, he's creating space for his line mates. But again, we're getting to almost game 50 of this cold streak for Kyler Yamamoto. If you're going to play with these skilled centermen and you're not going to score, you're not going to hold on to that spot for much longer. And we've been talking about it now since the beginning of the season. We've been talking about it dating back to last year. If he doesn't start producing offense, he can't hold this spot. You can't justify a top spot in the top 6 for him much longer. It's simple as that.
Tyler's laying down the law, guys. I feel his energy. It's fire. When are you born, by the way?
October.
Okay, you're Libra.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on to someone who's actually celebrating his birthday today, Leon Draisaitl. Happy birthday, Leon Draisaitl. He's a Scorpio. It's Scorpio season. I'm going to say Leon scores 2 goals tonight because he's feeling the energy. Scorpios are known for their ambition, their courage, their intelligence. We see that all from Leon Draisaitl on the ice. They are also fixed signs, which means they don't like change at all. So basically what I'm telling you guys is Leon Draisaitl is probably going to stay in Edmonton forever because he doesn't like change, and he's going to win the cup, and he's going to be an Edmonton Oilers staple. What do you think about that prediction?
Well, let me just go back to the change thing. Let's hope Leon Draisaitl doesn't change up anything in terms of the way he's playing, because he's off to a fantastic start. Him and Connor McDavid, when you combine them, basically averaging 2 goals a game between the two of them. Draisaitl, you mentioned, you're thinking he's getting 2 tonight, plus 400 on most sports books. Shout out to our friends at PointsBet for that one, to pick up 2 goals, or at least 2 goals in this hockey game. If you want to bet on Draisaitl to pick up at least 2 points tonight, that's paying about even money as well. So Draisaitl's on an absolute tear. We'll have a little bit more on that when we get to our line combos as well.
Okay, amazing. Let's move on to the opposition report presented by Yeg Burger. I could sure have one of those right now, a cheeseburger with my name written all over it. Let's talk about the boys taking on the Philadelphia Flyers, who are 2-1-1 on the season. What do we expect from Claude Giroux and the boys today against the Oilers, who are probably very hungry for a W?
Yeah, I mean, the Flyers, it's an interesting start to the year for them. They've played 4 times. They're 2-1-1, but they sit dead last in that insane Metro division. It's easily the best division in hockey. The Flyers have had no problem scoring goals. They're 3rd in the NHL in goals scored per game. Their power play has been very good. Their penalty kill, a little bit more down towards league average here, so maybe a spot for the Oilers to take advantage of them there. And in terms of their lineup, I believe they're going to be without Ryan Ellis in this one, so maybe another positive there for the Oilers as well. But this Flyers team, you can't take them lightly. They had a busy offseason, and so far, they're playing some good hockey.
Lineups presented by Deuce Vodka for the Flyers, please.
The lines for the Flyers brought to your courtesy, of our friends over at Daily Faceoff. The top line, Couturier, Konechny, and Claude Giroux. Definitely going to want to keep an eye on that trio there. The second line, centered by Derek Brassard, but Cam Atkinson's on that right side. The former Columbus Blue Jacket is off to a fantastic start so far this year with the Philadelphia Flyers. Their blue line is where I want to focus on next. Atkinson, by the way, already 4 goals this year. On the blue line, Provorov and Justin Braun, Travis Sanheim and Rasmus Ristolainen. I think there's a spot there. If you can get the Oilers, one of their skilled centermen out there consistently against Rasmus Ristolainen, might be a chance for them to score off the rush a little bit. He doesn't move as well as some of the other blue liners they have. Third pairing, Keith Yandel and Nick Seeler, another spot there. I don't think that duo is great defensively. If you can keep McDavid and Draisaitl away from Provorov and Braun, I think you're going to find success.
And lineups for the Edmonton Oilers presented by Deuce Vodka. And let's touch upon Mikko Koskinen, who had a 36 save performance against the Golden Knights and who has been killing it so far between the pipes for the Oilers.
Yeah, when you look at goalies who have at least 3 appearances so far this year, Mikko Koskinen's basically top 5 in every stat category. He's off to a great start. 2.03 goals against average, 943 save percentage for Mikko Koskinen. He's very deservingly getting another start tonight with Mike Smith still on the shelf. And the goaltending matchup itself here is really interesting because you have Sherwood Park product Carter Hart expected to go for the Philadelphia Flyers. Both these guys had really bad years last year, and they're both off to fantastic starts this season. Their numbers are actually pretty close. So Koskinen versus Hart between the pipes, and we're expecting the Oilers lineup to pretty much stay the same in front of Mikko Koskinen. Slater, Cuckoo, Tyson Barrie expected to be the third pairing. And the fourth line, we're expecting them to go back to Perlini, Shore, and Turris for this one. So kind of the usual in the top 9, maybe some changes on the fourth line for the Oilers.
All right, everyone listening, please send us your comments, questions, concerns. We want to know everything that you're thinking ahead of tonight's game against the Flyers. But right now, Tyler, what is your bet of the game?
Yes, let's get to the betting report brought to you by our friends at PointsBet. The Oilers, massive favorites in this hockey game, minus 191 on the money line. They are plus 130 on the puck line if you like them to win by 2. If you think they're just going to win in regulation, that's paying out about minus 125. My bet of the game, though, is courtesy of producer Liam, who has dug up a nice little prop regarding Mikko Koskinen. Koskinen over 26.5 saves is going to be your bet of the game. It's paying out about minus 125, depending on the sports book you use. And I like this one. The Oilers have struggled to prevent shots, even though they've done a good job of containing or keeping teams to the outside. And a lot of their shots from the opposition are coming from the perimeter. Teams are shooting a lot on the Oilers goaltenders, and Koskinen's playing good, so I think he can easily pick up 27 saves against a Flyers team that has been doing a good job of creating offense.
I still can't get over you haven't seen Titanic.
I know.
I'm sorry, this entire pregame show, it's been like, Leon Draisaitl, going to score 2 goals. We're going to beat the Flyers. Tyler hasn't seen a Titanic. Have you seen like a hockey movie?
I've seen movies. That was obviously a joke, but I haven't seen Titanic. A lot of like the big ones. I've never been a movie guy. I've had to do this whole conversation on every podcast, every show I've ever been on.
I'm worried about you.
You shouldn't be.
I'm worried. Okay, is there any questions on your front on Facebook? Nothing that I'm seeing here on Twitter. Go ahead. You go first.
Yeah, Eldon on Facebook said Yamamoto's doing his best. He'll come around soon enough. It's only the start of the season. Remember that. My counter argument to that one would be it's only the start of the season, but this dates back to last year as well with the Yamamoto struggles. But Will Nigma, I hope I'm saying that one right. He's high on Yamamoto tonight. He says a goal and 2 assists for Yamo.
I hope Yams gets on the scoreboard. Like I said
I think every Oilers fan does.
Yeah. Like I said last year, he was one of my favorite players to watch, and I do agree that it's early in season, but I don't like when fans use that as an excuse because he needs to. You're exactly right. He's playing with some of the best players, and he needs to do his job. What do the Crystals say about tonight? Good question, everyone. It is Scorpio season, so anything can happen. Again, Leon Draisaitl is a Scorpio, so I think that he's going to channel that intense energy, get a couple tonight, and help the Oilers go 6-0. So keep your fingers crossed. Chat with us online, and I'm pumped for this one.
Yeah, Dylan Cardinal quickly on Facebook asked if there's any update on Mike Smith. I mentioned he's still out. Earlier in the week, Dave Tippett said he's doubtful for Wednesday. Obviously not playing tonight, but said there is a chance we get him back on Saturday. But considering how Koskinen's rolling, I have a funny feeling they're not going to rush back Mike Smith here. So on Saturday, I wouldn't be expecting Smith either.
So you're saying there's a chance. Do you know what that movie's from? What that quote's from?
Yes.
Oh my God, thank God. Yes, because then I'd be worried. Then I'd be like calling Mr. and Mrs. Yaremchuk and be like, when Tyler comes home, he has to sit in front of the couch, in front of the TV and watch movies all day long. All right. Anything else on your front?
No.
Wrapping up.
I think we're good here. This is a tough spot for me. The Oilers, they went out, they had a good time in Vegas. They did their team trip. They did an Oilers Ryder Cup. They were at the football game on Sunday as well. Now you're back on home ice. And, are you going to come out flying because you're well rested and you had some team bonding earlier in the week and everyone's feeling good because you're 5-0? Or is this one where maybe you start to feel a little bit too comfortable with yourself? And comfort is death in the NHL. And the Flyers are a good team.
But we were mentioning that the Flyers were on a little bit of a break too.
Yeah, the Flyers on a break as well, and this is actually their first road game as well. They haven't played outside of Philadelphia yet this year, so this is honestly a really, really hard matchup for me to read for the Oilers. I could very easily see them falling to 5-1 after tonight, but with just so much talent there, you can't underestimate this Oilers team right now.
I always think that rest is needed. They needed that time off from games as long as they can keep channeling that momentum into tonight. Like we said, the Flyers also had a couple of days off. This is probably the perfect team to be playing after 4 days off. So we'll see how it ends tonight. I'm praying that winning streak keeps going. Let us know what you think on every social media platform. And go Oilers, go. Let's see if we can make this 6-0. And Tyler and I are going to be back every single game day at 1 o'clock p.m. So make sure that you guys bring your questions, comments, concerns, anything. And I'm going to make a list of movies for Tyler to watch when I go home today and send it to him. So I'll keep you guys posted on that front.
Shout out to Sherwood Ford. Enjoy the game.
Bye.